We are live. Good evening, everybody. Hi. Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. So tonight we are streaming on all of the Sip and Share pages in the Distiller group on YouTube and with our new posh friends at Kuro Gin. Look, it's not much left in this bottle. So let's see who's on, who is going to join us this evening. And then the lovely Craig can come on, Craig from Kuro, and tell us all about what this gorgeous, beautiful, slightly mysterious looking bottle is. So hello, if you're on, say hi. There's 9 of you watching, I can see. If you haven't, if you're on Kuro's feed and you haven't seen Sip and Share, come and take a look at us. We have lots of, I'm just going to leave it as lots of special stuff happening. So let's bring him on. There he is. Hello, sir.
Hello, how are we?
Oh, now we're technologically sorted. All the pre-drama. Hi, Louise. We are good. Now, is it right that you haven't got any ice or garnish?
I am failing on all fronts when it comes to gin tonight. Yeah, no ice, no garnish. I'm in the middle of a building site, building the distillery in the studio. So I've got some tonic, I've got a glass, and I've got some gin. That's all that really matters.
Well, after 20 minutes of technology drama we've just had behind the scenes, let's have a drink. Can I first, before we even get onto your gin, compliment you on these glasses? My new favourite glasses. My gin bowl doesn't fit in, my ice bowl doesn't fit in, but these are really nice, tall, skinny glasses. You're getting lots of...
They keep the cold in well.
They are?
They keep the cold in with the ice really well compared to a Cobra.
They're really nice, and I feel like little. I mean, I'm never going to feel dainty, Craig, but I feel dainty in that glass. So you've not got any garnish. Don't need garnish.
I'm just going with a mini as well. So I'm just going like I'm on a first class flight to Dubai or something. Like, let's do this.
I like that you went with first class flight to Dubai.
Yeah, rather than EasyJet to Benidorm.
Dragged you to Malaga, sort of thing. I like brand wise where you were sitting with that.
Yeah.
Right, well, I will go like I'll join you on your trip to Dubai. I'll be a few aisles back, slightly more.
I'm going Lixia as well. I don't know what you're doing.
Lixia, but I'm okay. Cheers.
Yeah.
Tonic.
I'm the boys at Lixia tonight.
Oh God, I couldn't get to it. And I have got garnish because I was just reading about the botanicals down the side of the bottle. And this does make me laugh when I read these because I just think, oh, thank God it's got silver birch in it. No, whatever. Bamboo, silver birch, spruce, juniper, coriander, orange, lemon, orris, angelica, licorice, nutmeg, and cinnamon. So I've got these as my garnish.
Yep. Yeah, look amazing. I didn't see the label there. It looked like citrus, and I think I read cinnamon.
It's cinnamon orange.
Oh, very nice. Yeah, perfect.
Give it a go. So lots of love. We love Craig. Hi, Ray. Diviner on.
Oh, yes, no doubt we'll be drunk.
What Ray will.
Hi, Rachel.
So introduce us to Kuro Gin. For the people who haven't had it before, tell us about the gin. Tell us the story that you told me that was super interesting, where it's come from, what it is.
Yeah, no problem. So Kuro Gin started as an idea back in 2016. My background, going a bit further back than that, is as a creative director. I'm a designer by day, if you like. I've been a designer for the last 17 years now. So I've had the pleasure of bringing brands to market, designing other people's brands for them, packaging. I've done it a few times with a few other brands that are in the market, and I thought really enjoyed this. It felt like I had more legacy than a lot of the design stuff that I get to do on a day-to-day basis. So, it's something you could pick up in 20 years' time and maybe go, I did that, and it's still kind of exists. So much of what you do as a designer now is throwaway. You'll spend months creating it, and it lives for a day, and then it's in the bin. So, the idea was I would, in some point in time, want to capture sort of something from your own legacy to kind of selfishly almost go, I did that, And I didn't know what it was going to be, when it was going to come, and then the pleasure of doing some gins for the people. I thought, this is it. I want to make a gin of my own at some point. And I mean, this has been over years and years and years. 2016 started to kind of seed the idea with a friend about, well, why don't we do something like this? Following the usual trends of everyone who gets in the industry. Oh, it seems to be the in thing. It seems to be a bit of a growing concern, and it was. I mean, to be honest, by the time we looked at it in 2016, we probably missed the real boat. But, we still thought like it would be a fantastic thing to do. And it was only a trip to Japan, sat up in the mountains, looking down at the world, half pissed and sake.
Let me stop you there.
Okay.
So we've gone with flight to Dubai. So we've dropped that in, haven't we? We've dropped in, and we know another distiller friend of ours that does his traveling, and he drops in lots of posh names that we are friend. So we've gone. I did the Malaga reference or the lads' holiday, the Dubai. Now you've done the Japan at the top of a mountain.
Yeah.
Is that what you do? Are you a secret global like posh 5-star?
Yeah. I've never been to Dubai. I've been to Japan once, so no is the answer. I'm normally the guy crawling down on his hands and knees in Benidorm, to be honest. Now, somewhere in the middle. It sounds like I'm name dropping, but I suppose that trip to Japan, it was worthy of trying to capture it. This is what the gin's all about. It was about me and my mate John at the time being out there. In Japan, trying to capture the essence of everything we experienced. We were out there for a good amount of time. We'd done the city thing in Tokyo and Kyoto, and then we had this amazing experience sort of in the mountains, skiing and snowboarding. So the whole idea and concept behind Kuro was Kuro directly translates as black in Japanese. We were on top of a black powder run, Kurobashi, in Hakuba in Japan, and looking down at the world. And it was that moment. That was the it moment. Let's capture this. Let's do this. Everything we see, smell, the essence of everything that we've experienced. Let's try and capture that, stick it in a bottle, and make this the narrative, the backbone of everything we do with our gin going forward. Now, that was like an amazing experience, and it felt like a great thing to commit to at the time. And then, of course, you come home, and then exactly, yeah. It seemed like a great idea at the time, and it was only when we got back to the UK, me being a designer, I jumped straight onto the design element, the brand and the design, the packaging, which is all designed by myself. You bring that to fruition, you get really excited about it, and then you kind of have to go, oh, we've got to do this now, haven't we? This is it. We've got to do this now. So the one area that we didn't really at the time have any experience or real understanding of was the actual production side of it. I'd had introductions to it. I'd had awareness of what the processes were and the way to go about things through the branding of other products. And build up some great contacts as well. So from there, it kind of went on a real learning exercise of what actually is gin. How is it actually made? I love it. I drink it. I'll order it at the bar. I can design it out of it, but now I've got to learn its composition and how it goes about and what goes in the bottle. So that's where the real education started, I suppose. The natural route for us was to avoid producing something that looked great and tasted horrendous. But we went down the initial route of contract distillation. So we worked with Langley Distillery to produce the gin, and we bottled it at a contract bottler, and it all felt very, very easy, to be honest. And that made me uneasy. Obviously, I've already mentioned I'm a designer by day. I'm a crafts person. I make stuff. And all of a sudden, like a few years in, it's just really started to feel like I was cheating, if that makes any sense,
It does kind of make sense, because I guess, we know how important, you and I certainly know how important branding is, and you've got a very strong identity here, and the website aligns and the bottom line lines. And so that bit's the bit that to you came naturally and came easy, but to so many people it doesn't. That's actually often the really, really hard. But there's loads of people that can make something that tastes amazing but look not as good as it should do, and are working on that. So for you to have that bit done, the design bit done so easily, and then I guess contract distilling, that's what it's set up for. It's set up to make it easy to get to market, isn't it? It's make it, you've got the story and the backbone and the design, but that end bit of execution is the bit that if someone's doing it for you, you've put so much heart and soul and love into getting to this stage that when someone takes that bit away from you and does it for you, I can understand how that might feel. Like,
yeah, completely. Especially when you are a craftsperson. You know, if you had a totally different profession and you never thought for a second about even making something, then it's totally acceptable. I've never changed my mind on how we're producing Kuro, which I know we'll go on to talking about the distillery in a minute. But I never changed my mind about how to produce Kuro based on quality necessarily, or even necessarily the reaction of the industry or the people who drink it. I never really got it. Oh no, if it's contract distilled, I don't want it. You know, that never happened. This is more about me fulfilling my own self-ambition and aligning the product even closer to me as a person, you know, being a craftsperson. I want that end-to-end execution. And actually, for me, it's like, yeah, volume would be nice and a lot of volume would be really nice. But at the same time, if I've got something that's 100% credible, that I own 100%, that I've made, bottled, packaged, designed, done everything for, and we actually only sell a couple hundred bottles a year, it is what it is. It's not what I've set the distillery up for. Don't get me wrong. I'm not playing that country kitchen, crafty bumpkin type thing. I'm wanting to go big with this. I want to make it a success. But for me, credibility now is almost more important than chasing commercial success. You know,
success comes with credibility, doesn't it?
Plain enhanced by, yeah, or it's enhanced by credibility. You know.
Yeah, absolutely. Longevity comes from having that credibility. So we can, you can make a sale, but actually the repeat purchase and the brand extensions and all of the stuff which creates the brand that's not just the gin, and that's what I'm gonna guess you're doing with the site you're building, is the stuff that gives you longevity, and that comes from credibility. So I can completely understand that feeling of wanting to round it off and be credible in talking about the entire journey.
Yeah.
So where are we at then? Because I think you've been doing some spending, haven't you? I think you've been doing some purchasing of some equipment recently.
Still purchased en route. I'm hoping by the end of the year we'll have our hands on that. In fact, HMRC really hopes by the end of the year I'll have my hands on it. But yeah, that's a whole different matter. We've got all the other equipment in place, lined up, ready to go. Recipe development is ongoing. My education is absolutely ongoing. I've been very, very fortunate to meet some people in the industry who have been super helpful. And if Ray's still on and he's not bored of me yet, he is one of those guys. Super resourceful, really open and with information. He's been a star. And I've got somebody else who's helping me out massively, who I can't mention by name, who's like a legend in the industry, who's helping me actually run the still, operate things, learn how to cut properly and how to actually rectify spirit properly and go through the motions of the process. So, you know, I can't mention them, but super thankful for that input that they're going to give me. And that, I mean, it's like a golden education. That it's something that you can't buy really. So yeah, the wheels are fully in motion. Product development's in motion. I've got things like this sort of stuff on my desk here, look, with all these different.
You know that this gets the Sip and Share lot very excited, because when you as distillers say product development, we just hear amazing gin that's 80% there, and we'll take that. As in literally, we'll take it. I've been having this discussion actually with a few distillers recently about what you do with the stuff that's in the process, you know, the stuff that's on the journey. So they were some interesting looking bottles. Is this have you been playing on a mini still before your big kit arrives?
Yeah, there's been a bit of development on mini stills, and some of this stuff's actually been wheels in motion for months and months, and some of it is actually tweaking stuff that we've actually had out for a year and a bit. Right. So I don't know if anyone's aware of Kuro as a brand, but if they are, they might have came across the cherry blossom gin that we had, and we've got a Japanese white peach, like a soft peach gin as well. So what they were the kind of beta stage versions of a wider range of the seasons range. Yep. So we have effectively come into market when we can get on the still and get things produced. Spring, summer, autumn, and winter version of Kuro. So for spring, we have the cherry blossom gin, but we're putting a little bit more cherry in there as well. Just because I think from the consumer's perspective, in the market research, which is exactly why we did it for the last sort of 18 months, when people see cherry blossom, if they're not fully aware that that's a tree and a floral tree, they expect to taste plummy cherry notes. You go, oh, it's quite floral, and you're like, yeah.
Tree.
So we're doing a blossom and cherry version. So we're taking the floral note still, and we're putting a bit more of the plummy sort of cherry fruit in there. So it gets a bit more of a cherry note to it. And then for summer, where you have a peach and apricot gin. Autumn is apple and Asian pear. And for winter, we are steering towards mandarin and sesame, but there is a little bit of I don't know, maybe your viewers can help us out with that one a little bit without tasting it, because
go on, talk us through what's going through your head process.
The dilemma is whether we stay seasonally true to Japan, and we have two in development for winter. So one of them being strawberry and yuzu gin, which yuzu being effectively a Japanese lime of sorts, slightly more bitter and sour. But so strawberry and yuzu, which is a tried and tested combination. Strawberry and lime gins exist. They work, and it's delicious. But that doesn't resonate with Western consumers necessarily as a winter gin. I think we, as Brits particularly, would maybe put that into a summer category. Or maybe summer, maybe autumn, category, but definitely not what we would resonate as winter. And then we have another option, which is mandarin and sesame, which absolutely would resonate as nutty, warm, orange sort of vibe. So, it's going to tick the box of winter for Western consumers, but maybe we shouldn't be thinking so narrow with this. Like, I don't know. So do we Westernize the idea of winter, or do we go with something that actually is delicious and works but doesn't resonate as winter off the cuff?
So I'll be interested to see. Louisa says, "Yep, strawberry is summer." But it's the thing that's interesting. So yes, no doubt the strawberry has more of a strawberry and lime, has more of a summer vibe to it. But this is, you said from the beginning, and when we talked the other day about this brand integrity and where it's come from, and the story's really strong, and it's and how consistent that is into the bottle design and everything about it, the kind of the Japanese that runs clearly through it. That makes me say we need to stay true to that. And actually part of this is about not being, yes, we would like volume. We just had the volume conversation, but being true to the Japanese flavors. And, I joked at the beginning, thank God it's got silver birch in, and I want you to talk us through this gin. But I can understand where you might feel conflicted, but the marketeer inside me and the intrigued and interested gin drinker says, I want you to stick with that strong story around Japan and where this has come from, and the kind of slight westernized, bringing those flavors into a gin made in Britain, but completely and utterly and truly inspired by Japan. And the mandarin and sesame sounds amazing and very just intriguing and different. And I think your point about strawberry and lime is established. Oh, Ben McGuire's on.
Hey, no doubt you'll start chipping in then.
Checking in. So I think it'll be really interesting to put that out there and see. But I think we're going to go about this lightheartedly. We are going to run some focus groups locally in Cheshire and get some consumers down who love gin. What's that hand popping up at the bottom there? So get a focus group going. Not too wide, but just to get the input. Present both options, do a bit of a tasting, do a bit of a narrative chat behind it, and try and sort of thrash out the proposition of what it stands for, and and pin it down effectively, but not just go, we'll go with that one. A couple of people on Facebook said, no, I think. So you've told us a bit about the range and what might be coming, and we know we've got you building. I mean, you're building a whole site. Before we actually talk about the Kuro Gin, just what you said, you joked saying you were a building site and you've only got your skinny mini and no ice. Where are you? What is happening?
Where I am right now is I'm actually sat in the office space upstairs above the distillery. So we've taken on a really lovely plot. We found it by total chance whilst looking around. It's a beautiful farm in the middle of rural Cheshire. We're a stone's throw from Capestone Hall. We're on the Capestone Hall estate. We've got Jodrell Bank out of that window there, so we get to see the thing talking to the aliens. And you know, it's a really inspiring little spot. Fields on every side, cows in every field. You know, it's a beautiful little spot. The whole idea behind the distillery and the location and everything is myself, even though I'm clearly a Geordie and I'm from the northeast. I've been in Cheshire or the northwest for nearly 18 years now. And my now business partner Jens is also, he's a Swedish guy, but he's also based very nearby. So we wanted to bring a real sort of localized operation. You know, we want to employ local people. We want our families to be involved. We want to be able to create a catchment for this area and deliver to it. You know, so we started looking around the area. This came up and we were just like, yeah, let's go. It was like literally first view and I knew that was it. The layout and everything's perfect. So the distillery's all going to be downstairs. We're going to have the still room, packing room. We've got a little bar down there with some facilities. Potential for expansion in a couple of years' time as well, which is great. And then upstairs, we've got kind of a meeting area. We've got pool tables going in up here. We've got the offices, and this is where I'm going to also run my branding and design studio from, like a micro branding studio. So we're based in this office that I'm actually in now. So, you know, it's all contained. My entire life is contained within this building in terms of work-wise. You know, I've got both my businesses here, and it's going to be a really nice setup for me to operate from, really. So
I also reckon it's going to be a perfect setup for the first face-to-face sip and share event on site. And you think I'm joking?
No, you're welcome anytime.
The group of us that are desperate to do it. So we did have plans at Christmas time, but well, launch party time rather August, September. But yeah, when you're in, so are we.
Yeah, perfect. Do that.
So tell us about, okay, so we've got a lot of exciting stuff going on.
Yeah.
Tell us about this gin then. Talk us through this. Talk us through the ingredients.
Kuro is our signature gin. The London Dry is our signature London Dry. This is our forever gin. The flavours, you know, they might come, they might go, they might change season by season, year by year. This one's to stay. So the defining botanicals in the London Dry are the bamboo, silver birch, and spruce. So we use needles from the spruce, Christmas tree effectively, perfect for Christmas gifts, guys. So you've got the spruce in there. Then we use bark from silver birch, which gives the loads of contribution of oil. Not masses on the flavour from the bark, but you get loads out of the oil. So it makes it really sort of viscous. It's very leggy in the glass, the spirit. It's when you pour it neat, it's almost leggy, a little bit like red wine. You know how it clings the glass slightly. And then the bamboo gives like a really dry, earthy tone right through the middle of it. It does a little bit what the peel would do from citrus, that dry sort of sharpness on the tongue. We do have citrus in there. We've got the orange and lemon. It's not mega prominent. It's not a hugely citrus forward gin. It leans more towards earthy, aromatic botanicals, very fresh, piney notes on the finish. You've got a real warmth there from the nutmeg and cinnamon and a slight sweetness from licorice. And then, of course, juniper front and centre. It's a London Dry. The majority of everything that is in there is juniper. So it's a real true to form dry gin. You know, we've worked hard on the initial development of the liquid, because as much as we went with a contract distiller, we actually went with a bespoke recipe to the contract distiller. So we're not just like an off-the-shelf gin, so to speak. And yeah, taking back that extra control once we get the distillery going is going to be really exciting for us, like to kind of being on the journey we're on with the liquid that's in there now, then to get that first bottle in our hand again and go, actually, this is the one we've done, you know, this is ours, you know, we're going to have to go batch one again, I think.
I was going to say that will be so interesting to go from, you know, having this produced at the rate you're having it done with the contract distiller to then you taking the same botanicals and the same, in fact, making the same product, because like you say, this is stay, and making it yourself. That I can almost feel how satisfying and scary when you first taste, you know, you'll taste it as it's distilling, but when you make that first bottle and how consistent it's going to be.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy. It is. It's going to be crazy, and it's going to be terrifying, because I am petrified. My greatest fear to now is somebody getting their hands on our gin, going, "Oh, we love your gin," getting mine and going, Yeah, yours used to be my favourite. You know,
You've
I'm like, oh,
ranking. Well,
so
but
that's
I
not going to happen.
I get a feeling, Craig, that you aren't going to let that happen. I think that this is an excellent, really enjoyable gin, and the few that we've given out to members or sold to members have gone really quickly. And I'm going to get another one whilst you're still giving us that kind offer.
Yeah,
yeah. So it's. Oh, what does this mean?
Yeah, so I mean, I'd be neglecting my duties as a designer if I didn't tell you a bit about the design. Right?
Looking at it, thinking, I'm assuming it means something important.
Yeah, well, I mean, that is the kanji for Kuro. That literally means Kuro in Japanese. That's the Japanese kanji. Oh, okay. So, covering a bit more about design, the design generally, while you're holding it so elegantly, so the design generally is all based on Japanese minimalism. So very symmetrical, very angular. Naturally, I mentioned the narrative behind Kuro and the meaning being black and why it's black from the black ski run that we were sat on top of. Then we've got the yellow line down the front, which signifies the bamboo kin. That plays a really important component within the botanical arrangement. And then in the back, I've mentioned we have the kanji for Kuro in the back of the bottle. And then amongst that, you'll see a repetitive pattern on the back made up of little 414s. So you've got like a 4, 1, and a 4 with a second 4 flip back to you see, 414. So that's actually our company name. We are 414 Alcohols Limited, and there's a little bit of a reason behind that as well. It's subliminal in the design. It's not really apparent, but the actual reason why we're called 414 Alcohols, and if you take a letter 4, letter 1, and letter 4 from the alphabet, it spells dad. So we just put a little nod into the kids. When we set up the business, we've basically called it Dad Alcohols Limited, but instead a little bit of fun in there, just a little nod to the kids, pull up the heartstrings when we're at the gin festivals.
Not the bottle that you feel like you should have on your shelf, hasn't it? It's good because it's a very beautiful and not minimalistic. I love the yellow line down the middle. I mean, in terms of brand extensions and product extensions, there's a whole range of stuff you could do. As well as the product inside this bottle being one of your products, the gin being one of your products. It's a really nice story and a very considered design, and an absolute testament to you as a designer.
Yeah, well, I mean, the true testament for us was when we got the gold outstanding for the packaging design from IWSC in 2018. So that was a proper seal of approval of like, yep, we've got the design right. And that was a weird one because that was like a design award for something that I designed, which felt great, but it wasn't actually what I ever expected getting a buzz out of from winning an award about. Like we made a gin, it was about the gin, and it's like it's all about design awards. We have had a few awards for the liquid as well, a few silvers and bronze, but I'm determined to rework that and get a gold in the next year or two. So
we gold on contents as well as the design.
I'm hoping so.
So before we let everybody go to their evening, what are your timings? The big question about time scales. When is that big, beautiful, giant distill? What litre is it? 400 litres?
400 litre.
When you've got 2 weeks, right?
I sincerely hope you're right, Kate, to be honest. But it was actually meant to be last week in November. And I think the problems with Brexit and COVID and all the other crap that's going on in the world, the port that we're coming into at Felixstowe is rammed. They're turning boats away. So we're desperately trying to get it on the ground and get it to the distillery to get the set. Because we can't actually set up the still room and packing room until the still's in, because that's got to go in the furthest. So we need to keep it completely clear so the still can go in and then build everything around it. So it's literally putting everything on hold. We're desperately waiting for it.
That first run that you do of the still for this gin is just going to be so exciting, isn't it? I mean, you've got such
really wild, like super exciting. Yeah,
all night party when you pull the first bottle off that, I reckon.
Yeah, we will be. Yeah, no doubt.
Hopefully, then it won't need to be socially distanced. Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, that's been on everyone's parade at the moment. All the other guys who are on here, feeling for you. It's like it's a torrid time for us, and it's a time that actually when I tell people what I'm doing, they go, "You bloody stupid! What are you doing that for now?" Like you know, I'm just thinking, well, fortune favors the brave, or stupid, or however you want to look at it.
Give it a go. Is gin school on your agenda? Is the kind of make it on site sort of thing something?
Yeah, it will be. It will be, but not in the first phase of our plan. We've got actually huge plans for the site that we're on. There's so many opportunities here in terms of buildings coming up, and I mean the guy next door, who's got the unit next door. I know he's retiring. I know he's leaving his premises within 2 to 4 years. He's winding his business down. He actually used to have the whole building that we're in. So I've had the conversation with him already, and we've got first refusal on his unit, which that will probably be when gin school and visitor centre type thing kicks in. So yeah, maybe it's a couple of years.
Well, we will. I was going to say watch with bated breath. We will be there. As the moment we're allowed in, there'll be like cats scratching at the door to come in.
Exclusive on the scoop.
You'll regret it. You'll regret the offer and say, "Yeah, come on." We will be.
Have you ever done with a Geordie before? You might actually regret it.
I take that as like challenge. Like
that's what we do. 5-day hangover challenge.
Right. Well, that was very, very lovely, Craig, to chat to you. Thank you so much, and thank you for this super special gin to our members during December. I know that there's probably another one that's gone through whilst I'm on the phone. Whilst on this, so yes, I think so. And so I only put 5 on, but if it's okay with you, I'll put another 5 on.
Come on, it's fine.
But
5 more is fine.
Right then. So thank you so much, Craig. Let's let everybody continue with the midweek. Enjoy your gin, enjoy the rest of your evening, and Craig, very best of luck with the plans. We will look forward to joining you for a party at Kuro HQ.
Definitely. Thank you so much for having me, and Merry Christmas to everyone who tuned in as well. Have a great time.
All right, guys, thank you so much, and I will speak to you very